They've upgraded this since I was on live before.
When's the last time you went live?
With somebody else, it's been probably about maybe 2 months.
Really? That's not
Yeah.
a long time.
First of all, your makeup looks amazing, girl.
No, stop it. I'm trying to take care of myself. I be listening to your stuff and I'm like, you right? Okay. So
And I
keep
may
me
or may not be cooking still while I'm on here because
do it.
hey, I got to use all my time wisely. Yes.
Okay. So please introduce us to yourself.
So my name is Dominique Mack. I just go by Dominique. That's what I prefer. I am the visionary of Soul Work RX. It's a wellness business centering the experiences of Black women. This is my beautiful daughter, Zora.
Hi,
There
Zora.
she
You're
is.
so pretty.
This is Zora. And let me know if y'all can still hear me good. Zora, turn that TV down, please. And I'm just about centering the experiences of Black women, whether it's wellness, womanhood, spirituality. I believe in various healing modalities, healing modalities like writing, like it's a mess. Like writing, journaling, dancing. One of my favorite people is my sister, my Vincia. She does twerk work. I believe that you can heal through so many different ways, even through cooking. Like I kind of purposely, but not purposely, came on at the same time I was cooking because that's also a big part of my soul work journey. It's just like that's a part of loving and investing back into myself.
So we know each other from FSU.
Yes.
Yes. So tell us what life was like when you were at FSU. Did you watch? Was there a game today? No. No, today's professional. It's not college today.
What'd you say?
I was asking if you watched the game today, but there's no college football on
No, the
Sundays.
game was on yesterday.
Oh, did we win?
I don't know because I don't keep up with sports, but I knew it was on. I, I don't even like sports.
Honestly,
Girl,
if we're being
first
honest.
of all, I don't know who these pork chops, but y'all got to see these pork chops look so damn good,
Oh my
bruh.
God. Stop.
Girl,
Oh my
all right.
God.
So,
Okay, but
anywho,
so tell us what life was like when you were at FSU.
oh my God, I was in a couple of different civic organizations.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I wouldn't call myself popular at all.
Oh my gosh.
Um, I,
She's so full of herself, y'all.
no, I
She's
wouldn't. I was not popular.
she's so lying.
But I do have a lot of great friends. Um, I didn't realize how many people I knew. Um, until I was putting on my retreat and just feeling so loved by so many people that I went to school with.
Hmm.
I made definitely lifetime friends when I went to Florida State.
Yeah,
Yeah,
agreed.
yeah.
Now tell us what life was like that first 5 years after graduating.
Oh Lord. Um,
Right?
that was an experience. Truly, the first 5 years after I graduated from school, um, I spent a lot of time really figuring myself out and figuring out what I liked, what I didn't like, going through jobs that was very traumatic to say the least.
Hmm.
Um, and you know how people that are our age, millennials and stuff, they're like, corporate sucks, but I just believe that you got to be a part of the system in order to change it. Sometimes, you got to be in the system,
Hmm.
in order to make a difference.
Hmm.
You can't just be an agitator on the outside and expect things to be changed, you know?
Hmm.
Um, yeah, so that first 5 years was tough. Um, but I felt like I really figured myself out.
So Work or X has kind of like a own the Oprah Network vibe to it. Was
Uh-huh.
that something that was intentional, like when you first started it?
No, I created what I wanted for myself. Meaning, I always was seeing like people would go to church and they wouldn't get what they needed, or people would go to all these women's conferences and it was like always like stuffy and just it wasn't anybody being real, is what I noticed. And I just wanted to have people that looked like me who had experiences similar to mine, and I created what I would have went to, what I would have wanted, truly. And it started off as a one-time retreat, and then it became something much bigger than I ever expected. You know,
How long have you been doing this for?
a year actually. September the 2nd, because that's when I got my LLC. September the 2nd made a year officially. Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay, so a lot of your writing is talking to your inner child.
Mm-hmm.
And one prescription that you wrote was called "My Lesson in Love is a Lesson in Lack."
Mm-hmm.
And I quote, I'm totally paraphrasing, forgive me. But you said, "I see you, girl. There is no lack in you." Why do you think that it's important that we talk to our inner child?
I think because if we heal those childhood wounds, then we won't respond from our childhood in our today, in our present day moments. And I said that because it's like parts of myself I'm still reconciling with. And I
Mm-hmm.
think that we all are, you know. And it's like if I say I see you, girl, then I won't look for external validation from anybody else. That
Wow.
means that I can give it to myself. I see you, girl. It doesn't matter what other people say or or what other people see. I see me and I know me. So that was the point. Um, that it's funny that you brought up that prescription in particular, because I do a lot of writing, but that one in particular literally changed my life. I remember writing in my journal and just crying out, and I felt the layers come off of my body
Mm.
when I wrote that. And I hadn't experienced, and I was like, this is what I was always supposed to write about. Like this, I knew that story was going to help somebody. Yeah.
It definitely helped me. I had to stop reading it. I had to like start and stop, start and stop because I was like, this is really heavy right now.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
I, I definitely felt the weight in those words. Okay, so you have a podcast, Soul Sister Conversations, although sometimes you have met on there.
Yes. Yes, because it's about community.
Oh,
Yeah, it's about community for women, and you can't have community that does not involve men too, you know, and non-binary people as well, you
mm-hmm.
know. So yeah, I love doing Soul Sister Conversations. It's a lot of fun.
It's literally like it listening to it is it sounds like a family reunion, but
Hmm.
like instead of talking about someone's mama or someone's, it's like talking about how you can work on yourselves.
Hmm.
So, which is the kind of conversation we should have, don't you think?
Yeah, I do. I do. We always start with the grounding exercise. So that may be a song that or a playlist. It may be a meditation that we do together. It may be us talking to our inner child. It may be something like when I say I see you, girl, and I say I see you, Ashley, looking abound with your beautiful curly hair and your fine ass makeup, your beautiful style. I see you, Ashley, like that, you know. It may be that as our grounding exercise as well.
So you have topics like choosing yourself, how
Hmm.
to love and be in community, how to
Hmm.
love and protect Black women. Do
Yeah.
you choose the topic first and then you find the people, or is it vice versa?
A topic will come to me because I've thought of a certain person, a lot of times. Um, and I'll plan them out like maybe 10 weeks out, and then the person like it kind of goes hand in hand, to be honest. Like I knew I wanted to talk to certain people, and I instantly knew what the topic was. And it's like, oh, my friends are so motherfucking gifted, bruh. Like it fills my soul. They've had certain experiences or expertise where I'm like, this is the person I need to talk about this, like how to pivot your life, whether they've been through a transformation or they've escaped domestic violence, or that how to love and be in community. That one was my absolute favorite one, though, because it's interesting to hear perspectives of Black men and how they love and be in community with Black women. And I just don't think that we get to hear that oftentimes
You
in the
don't.
same space.
You don't.
So it was so beautiful, and it just counteracted the narrative of what people say about us, that we can't get along, that we always bashing each other. None of that happened on that call. None of that.
Why I didn't write this one down, but it just came to my head. Why do you think that that narrative is so trendy right now?
I don't even think it's trendy. I just think that that's something that divisiveness and conflict sells more than love.
Mm,
You know,
yeah.
people love drama. People love having just mess to talk about. And I think that, white folks love to see us infighting, love to see us going at each other. But we also don't realize, on the other hand, like when we come together, we run some shit. Like, we the pioneers, we the architects, we the trendsetters of everything. We're the purveyors of this entire culture. They following us,
Mm-hmm.
and we don't even realize, like, we the fucking gold mines,
Ooh.
you know. Ugh, I just don't get it. I think it's easy to be messy,
Yeah.
it's
I know once I was talking to a friend and they're like, I'm so sorry that you're Black in America. And I was like, what? America's robbed from Black culture all the time. Like, life would be so boring if Black culture wasn't here. Don't feel sorry for me. Feel sorry for you that you're just realizing that this mess is happening.
mm-hmm. I so agree.
Um, what was the most difficult part about changing you? Or maybe changing is the bad word. Transitioning, accepting,
No,
whatever word you want to
it was
use.
changed, because everything about me has changed, especially in these last couple of months, and this transformation that I went through. I don't even see myself the same. Like, my back sits up straighter. Um, like, the way I listen, the way I see things is completely different. The hardest thing about changing is that sometimes my external does not change as fast as me. And it's kind of like my external doesn't change to match what has happened on the inside of me, if that makes sense.
It does,
So
yeah.
yeah, so people not recognizing the change, if they're not in intimate communication with me, if that makes sense. So yeah. Yeah.
I can relate. um, I have given myself permission to mourn her loss, the birth, and the growing pains.
Mm.
So, from my interpretation, gosh, poetry is so hard to interpret sometimes because it's like the way you wrote it is the way someone else perceives it the wrong way. But the way I saw it was saying that I forgive my old self,
Mm-hmm.
accepting that,
Yeah.
but then letting go. So,
Mm-hmm.
how do you think we can let go of regret and resentment and
Mm-hmm.
self-doubt?
I always say guilt is a useless emotion, for one.
Oh, hell, I just had chills.
Yeah, it is, because
Wow.
I said it recently. I think it was like 2 days ago. I said, when I decided to let resentment go and anger and all those other things, I created new wells inside of myself for joy and for laughter and for softness and for pleasure. And one thing that I've been saying lately actually is that I got to let myself know what pleasure is like, because I have endured pain for so long. So now I have to kind of cultivate myself to get used to pleasure and to get used to feeling good versus pain, because pain seemed normal, lack seemed normal for me. So now I got to live in the abundance and and to normalize abundance in my life, you know. And
Yeah.
I think I want to make sure I'm answering the question right. I feel like um letting that go just frees up space within myself, inside and outside. Yeah,
Mm.
yeah. And
So
a lot of mine happens through my writing, you know. And it's like and through stillness and through silence, a lot of it happens. I feel like my gift is being able to give language to pain and to experiences, and helping people interpret those things for themselves. That's my gift in this world.
oh, you're gonna make me emotional. um, okay, so you also do group one-on-one coaching. Um, so that's gotta be very, very heavy, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Hearing people's stories and stuff. So what do you do to stay mentally tough? You personally?
I have good boundaries. I have
Hmm.
very good boundaries that are firm but fluid, if this makes sense to you. Firm meaning there might be certain hours of the day I'm not answering back to text messages and phone calls, and I'm not inviting chaos into my life. I'm going to do it from this time to this time. That's what I'm going to invest in it for you, and then I'm going to let go. And then it's that means it's firm. But then fluid meaning when I'm there, I'm fully present. I'm feeling fully involved in engulfed in what it is. But after that, I gotta turn it off, because I gotta save room for myself, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So the biggest way that I do it is I also have people in my life that I can share me with and that invest in me. So I have a great support system of sisters, of my friend Kanisha, my friend Derica, my friend Courtney and Kyla. Yes, my Courtney. Yeah, I have people that, I can be my full and whole self with. And that changes throughout seasons. It might be Courtney and Kyla and Kanisha and Derica this season, and it might be somebody else next season. And my friend Debbie. I got so many. I really do. I have a lot of people that love me. But those are like my girls. You see me texting them every day or voice noting them. Those are my main girls. But I also know that it's seasons of life, and that, right now they're available. But shit, next year they might have a man, and I'd be glad for them, and they gotta spend more time investing in. That don't mean they don't have space room for me, but it's just life.
Where
Hmm.
did you get the title of Soul Work RX from?
Oh gosh, I really, it just came to me. It just came to me. And I've been saying soul work for a long time. Like I go back to notes I had wrote in 2012, 2011. I've been saying soul work, but then soul work RX. I was like, well, this is a prescription. This is like, I want to give you a plan on, because so many people talk about, oh, you can heal, but they don't give them tools and they don't give them a plan to resolve whatever it is, you know? So that's what this to me was. It was a balm. It was a prescription for what you need. And you can create it. We co-create that together. You don't have to do it alone. So yeah. Nobody ever even asked me that question.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know. I guess God just gave it to me. I really don't
Mhm.
know where I came up with Soul Work RX. I never had heard it before.
And I definitely, I meant to say this earlier, but I definitely appreciate you taking the time out to talk to me on a Sunday, because I know Sunday is very sacred for a lot of people.
Oh, girl,
So I
it sure
appreciate it.
is. I love Sundays. It's just the
Hmm.
best day ever.
Why do you think that is? Like, do you think because like when we were growing up, our parents were like, we're supposed to be chill on Sunday? Because now I always feel so relaxed on Sundays. Do you
Yeah,
think it's because like our conditioning from growing up?
probably. Yeah, yeah. And then I really love Sundays and I love Thursdays for some reason.
Really? That's
Yeah,
interesting.
I love Thursdays because it's almost the weekend, and then Friday, nobody stresses on Friday.
Well, not if you don't work in a restaurant.
Oh, well, that's true.
um, what's your favorite thing to do to treat yourself?
Mm. I do love me some bad clothes now. Oh,
Ooh.
I love me a outfit, probably some clothes, and going out to a nice restaurant and having an experience of
Mhm.
going out with my friends or just people I love. Like, yeah, trying something new. That's really my. I love new experiences, learning something new. Yeah.
Mhm. Okay, so a bit heavy. An open letter to my mother. The first line, very moving. Just that first sentence. For most of my life, I have dreaded Mother's Day. It reminded me of my mother. Can you talk about that letter and the courage it took to write that and post it, and
Mhm.
the unknown trauma that we, maybe just as people of color, that we refuse to acknowledge for fear that I don't want to upset my mom?
Girl. Girl, recently my mom told me I had got a speaking engagement. She told me, I hope you ain't talking about me.
Mm,
Yeah. And it was crazy because she doesn't realize so many people get healed from hearing her story. Like, she's such a testimony. Um, I was gonna just write that actually and send it to my mom and, not not post it anywhere. But then something told me the world needs to see this. Like, I realized it was a privilege that I could reconcile my relationship with my mother, and people needed to know that, and people needed to feel it and to see it. And I mean, I got so many messages from that one post alone, because it's just like unbelievable. Like, we can't talk about our moms. Like, we just
no.
supposed to revere her and that's it. And I'm like, so many of us don't have that story. Every time I go and do something for Soul Work RX, and it's never about motherhood, 9 times out of 10, somebody comes and talks about issues with their mother. And actually, last year, I wanted to do a retreat strictly for mothers and daughters. That's always been heavy on my heart because I haven't had the best relationship with my mom. Like, a lot of it was just a lie, like a lot of pretending, a lot of romanticizing about our relationship, and I'm like, this is not how I feel. Like, my mom tried to buy me, with stuff for so many years, and it just wasn't real. My grandmother was the person who mothered me, really, that gave me that emotional support, the nurturing, all of that stuff I received. But my mom didn't get it from her mom, which was crazy because I got it from her. So I felt like that was a roundabout way of answering it, but yeah.
Yeah. Um, what's something you wish your mother had taught you when you were younger?
That you don't have to seek validation from a man.
Mm,
But I don't think she could teach me that because she didn't know how to teach it to herself.
mm.
Yeah. Yep.
How does one become vulnerable?
Mm. I think vulnerability is about honesty and about telling the truth. So,
Yeah.
you got to be comfortable with telling your own truth to yourself. So, I think that that's the biggest part of it. And you also have to push past fear. Um, you know, I think the biggest way that I've become vulnerable is by constantly talking with myself and being comfortable with myself. Um and also safety, creating safety all the time with other people. Because I say it often, but Black women gotta have safe space. We don't have a
Yeah.
lot of safe spaces just to be. And I'm telling you, once you start opening up, other people want to open up. Now you've created a safe space for them to also tell their truth and tell their story. Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
You got to
So,
keep doing it. It's like practice, like a riding a bicycle, you know?
yeah. So obviously you're a great cook. I'm gonna let you get back to cooking soon. What's something a dish that you love to make?
Ooh. I love to make girl, I like to cook a lot of stuff. I don't have really like a love. I like things that are very simple and easy to make and that taste flavorful. Um, but something that's complicated that I like to make is paella.
You can make paella?
Yeah. One of my Puerto Rican sisters taught me how to make paella, and it's really a lot of fun. It's just so pretty to see all the colors together. So that's one of my absolute favorite things to make. And I love making lamb chops.
Mm.
And I also love making I don't know, probably some brunch, whatever. My cousin Courtney has an awesome cookbook out called Early Enough, and she makes
Is
awesome
that the one you just
brunch
posted
meals.
on your story?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's your cousin.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah. So, yeah, there will probably be brunch and some sort of dinner meal. I just like stuff that look pretty. It all goes back to that.
Okay, so where can we find you, stalk you, all that fun stuff?
You can find me SoulWorkRx, just all one word, SoulWorkRx on Instagram, SoulWorkRx, on Facebook, SoulWorkRx.com, and me just underscore DMAC, um, on Twitter and on IG. Same thing.
How do you have the time to do everything?
I goof off a lot on social media scrolling. And yeah, that's probably it. I don't know. Like right now I'm feeling so bad because my master class should have been out for everybody. Like my little advertisement, but I stopped doing everything with my grandma. So it's
Yeah.
probably just what I needed to do. So I just let it go
Yes.
to reconcile.
Yeah.
It'll be what it'll be.
There's plenty. I feel like sometimes a lot of people our age are so anxious, like I'm running out of time, I'm running out of time, but there's plenty of time.
Hmm.
Like things don't have to be done today or even next week. Like,
Yeah,
as long as it gets done, that's all that matters.
yeah, it's true. Thank you for
No,
having
thank you.
me.
And then can you give a last piece of advice to someone who's having a very hard time
Yeah.
loving themselves? Maybe I'm asking that for a selfish reason. Maybe.
Um, know that it will not come easy because nothing about you is easy. And also know that um you have to learn yourself in and out of season. And that you got to provide yourself with softness and grace. And just as you are critical on yourself, you got to let that criticism go. Let the image of perfection go, Because let me tell you, nobody really likes that type of person, because you don't know who that is. A lot of that is masked. That person is not vulnerable. That person is not honest and truthful. And the best way you can get to yourself is by stripping down all those layers and all that stuff that everybody else has said about you, the stuff that you said about yourself that isn't necessarily the truth, and get into the root of who you are. That is the absolute best way to love yourself. And you have to practice it. You have to put it into motion every single day of your life. You can't you have to be intentional about it. You know, for me, how I practice loving myself is looking into the mirror, and touching my body, just touching and loving on myself, taking my time when I'm putting on, my body lotions, and just feeling and caressing myself. Like, that's another way I love myself. Adorning myself, whether it's with my makeup, my nails are looking raggedy as hell right now, but that's another way. Like, people say it's false, but it's not. It's a practice of investing and loving myself. Whether I'm cooking myself a good meal, whether I'm taking a bath, just slowing down is a way that I love myself. Like you said, everything doesn't have to be about urgency. And also, I give myself space and time to just be with me. Like, the mornings are my absolute favorite. I'm always waking up really early. Um, and that's the way that I love myself, because I give my mind time to prepare to take on everybody else's mess. Like,
Yeah.
let me deal with myself first before I take on anything else, you
Yeah.
know? So that's the best way for me. But you got to figure out what's the best way for Ashley, you know? Yours may be in drawing and acting and in painting and, those types of ways. And they're just as valid as mine. But you got to keep doing that more. Yeah.
You're giving me a lot to think about.
Good. Good.
I really appreciate you taking the time out to talk to me.
I appreciate you asking me. It was a pure honor and pleasure to be here with you. And anything
And we're gonna
you
do this
need, let me know.
and we're gonna do this again in the future, yeah? When
Yes,
your company's a multi-billion-dollar company.
exactly. I believe that.
I'm speaking it.
Yeah.
It's gonna happen.
Thank you, Ashley. I
Thank
appreciate
you.
you. Hey, I'm gonna see you at Patty versus Gladys tonight.
Maybe. I have so much work to do. Ah.
Gosh. Well, hey, just watch the clips. Just watch the clips.
True. Oh, obviously. Okay. All right. Bye, girl. Enjoy
Bye.
dinner.